Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Guillen with Guiding Echoes, the channel that is devoted to your spiritual and personal growth. And in this video, I want to share with you how you can use your beliefs to overcome your fears. Now, this is a lesson that I have been learning in my own life over the last few months. I want to say the last few years, but really it's been over the last few months. And when we run into this type of lesson in life, it's really a question of, are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? We'll say that we have certain beliefs, we'll preach certain beliefs, and then life comes along and say, all right, I'm going to give you a test, and we're going to see if you really believe that. And so here's the scenario. Here's what's been happening. If you follow me on Twitter and Facebook, you know that I am huge on collaboration, right? I am always trying to connect with other people because I believe in growing together as a community. I firmly believe that when we can come together to promote spiritual and emotional health, healing, spiritual insights, I believe that we can create so much beauty in the world. I believe that we can create enlightenment and bring forth an amazing awakening unlike anything we've ever seen. But we have to do it together because no one person can do it completely by themselves. So when you separate yourself from the herd, what you're really doing is you're cutting yourself off from your lifeline. You're cutting yourself off from the very people that can help you, that can promote you. And in the same time, you're separating yourself from the people that you can support and encourage and lift up too. So I am huge on collaboration and community. The problem is that life has shown me that you can't trust everybody, right? No big surprise there. But this has been a lesson that has actually been pretty hurtful and pretty hard to go through. And when I look at my life, I see that this belief, or rather this lesson, started about, I want to say 5 years ago. So around that time, I had a dog training business by the name of Amazing Mutts. And I met a woman by the name of Betty, who was also a dog trainer. In fact, she had a flourishing Facebook page and a YouTube channel, and she taught people how to train their dogs. So she had amazing dog training tutorials on YouTube. And so I started chatting with her, and we became friends, and we even met up in person a few times. And the thing with Betty was that she ended up taking some of the ideas, some of the theories that I had developed while working with my own dogs and training other dogs. And so one of the things that Betty and I would do is we would brainstorm together. We would talk about dog theory. We would talk about the different dogs we have trained, clients that we've had, experiences we've had with our own pups, with our own fur babies. And we would kind of compare notes. And so I remember one time sharing with her a class that I wanted to put together and some of my own theories that I had created around, around animal behavior. In addition to that, I told her about a YouTube series that I wanted to create and how I wanted to start incorporating different products as sponsorships for my videos. Well, a few months went by and I was never able to completely implement these ideas that I had. The reason I wasn't able to do that was for basically personal issues. And so, long story short, I wasn't able to move forward in them and to create this wonderful product that I really believed in. So one day, I am watching Betty's YouTube videos, and I come across one of her latest videos in which she stole my idea, in which she created the very video series that I told her I wanted to create. And she did the same product endorsement thing that I told her I wanted to do. So I was pretty upset. And I started watching some of her other videos and getting caught up, and I started to notice that she was stringing in my dog theories, my dog training behavior theories, into some of her videos. And she was presenting it as if these were her own ideas. So needless to say, that was really frustrating. So I sent her an email and I called her out on it, and I told her, I'm really hurt that you did this. This was my idea. I told you I wanted to do this. And first she wrote back and she was pretty upset. First she denied it. And then what was interesting was she wrote to me and said, even if I had stole your ideas, I would be within my right to do so because you never implemented them in the first place. So that was totally a Freudian slip, because in that instance, it was very clear that she was giving herself up and saying, I did steal your ideas. I'm not going to admit it because it makes me look like a bad guy, but you never implemented them, so I had the right to steal your ideas, right? So that was really frustrating, and I was really hurt. Needless to say, I broke off the connection with her after that. A couple years later was when I got involved in tarot and when I decided to start guiding echoes. And at that time, I met another friend online, and her name was Emily. So Emily was very much into tarot, and she was into other forms of divination and metaphysics as well. And she was much more skilled in all of this than I had been because I was a beginner. However, I have more knowledge in creating a business and marketing strategies than she had. And so what ended up happening was she decided to start her own business. But I made the same mistake of trusting the wrong person, because when I shared my ideas with her, when I told her about a video series that I wanted to create, when I told her about a new system that I wanted to put into play for guiding echoes, she was always on my heels. So she would either implement things before I did, she would steal my ideas and create videos around what I was going to create, or she would write blogs about what her and I had talked about when I told her I want to write a blog or create a video about, whatever the subject is. And so with her, I kept letting it slide. Like, it was very clear that she was copying me in every way, shape, or form. She even copied me in the way that she wore her makeup, and she copied me with the prices she set for her business. I mean, she was just copy, 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 copy. And then she couldn't figure out why my channel was growing, why more people seemed to flock to me than to her. And it's like, well, you're not doing anything original, you're just copying me. But see, at the time, I didn't have a lot of friends. In fact, I would say I didn't have any friends, and I considered her my best friend at the time. And I let her copy me. I never called her out on it because I valued the friendship more than I valued myself. I valued the friendship more than I valued even the business, because at that time, I really needed a friend. When I met her, I was in an abusive relationship with someone who was really a bully and didn't treat me very nicely. And, looking back, I see that I wouldn't go so far as to say she was abusive, but she was definitely a user. She was not a good friend, because all she did was take my ideas, and she was trying to ride my coattails to the top, because she recognized that I had the potential to possibly make something of myself, and she was trying to hook her name to mine. And I won't say that's the only reason we were friends. I believe that that her and I did have a connection. And I think for the most part, she wanted what was best for me. But the unfortunate thing was that whenever I met a certain level of success, she would become very jealous, and she would try to figure out how she could get that same level of success. So when OnTime started presenting my videos on their astrology site, and when they started presenting my videos on their Facebook page, instead of her saying congratulations to me or being excited, she was on her computer trying to figure out how to connect with OnTime so she could ask them to promote her videos too. So it was kind of sad that I didn't have a good friend. She wasn't a real friend. And later on, this happened rather recently, I had another friend who I was close to, who I was working with, and I got to see a lot of, behind the scenes of his business, because I was helping him put together some things. And long story short, him and I had a fallout, and he also stole some of my business ideas as well. When we were friends, I had told him about some of the videos I wanted to create, and when we had the fallout, he turned around and he created those videos. So needless to say, I've been very hurt by people who were very close to me, and this has really kind of gotten me to question if I really believe in community, if I really believe in collaboration. And the truth is, yeah, I do. I still believe in community. I still believe in reaching out to other people and helping them as much as I can. I still believe that we're all in this together. But I also have the awareness that not everyone who wears a smile and reaches their hand out to you is a friend. There are sociopaths in this industry. There are narcissists in this industry. And there are people who are going to use you as much as they can and not think twice about it. So this put me in a unique position because I am such an extrovert and I am such a collaborator and I really sincerely do love people. But then the voice of fear starts to pop up, right? So when I decided to start Social Media Mystics, it was for two reasons. One of them was that I wanted to create something that would allow metaphysical and holistic business owners to come together, to grow together, to support and encourage one another, because I truly believe that that sets the foundation for personal growth and growth as a business. You know, guys, being an entrepreneur can be really lonely sometimes. It can be really hard. And it can also be overwhelming when you have dreams and aspirations that are bigger than yourself. And when you have that, when you have those dreams, when you have those aspirations, you really need people who have your back. And so I created Social Media Mystics because I wanted to create a community that I would be pleased as punch to be a part of. And I wanted to attract people who had those same beliefs in collaboration. And so that was the first reason that I created it. And the second reason I created it is because I just love mentoring people. I can't seem to stop myself. And so I know how to market. You know, I love social media marketing and I love marketing in general. You know, it's something that I grew up with. In fact, if you haven't seen my video on how I accidentally used the law of attraction to manifest my dream job when I was 14 years old, you need to check out that video because you'll learn why I love marketing so much. Basically, that was a foundation that was set for me when I worked at a radio station when I was 14 years old. And, you know, working at a radio station, you got to see how important collaboration was. You know, you got to see how things just moved better when people got along as opposed to when people were fighting and trying to sabotage each other. It's so ridiculous. And you would think that the spiritual field is the very last place you would see it, but you know what? It's not. I won't go so far as to say it's the most prominent, but you're going to see it in this industry just the same as any other professional industry that you'd enter into. You know, you got your good people and you got your bad people. And so when I created Social Media Mystics, fear started to come in, right? Fear started to come in because my desire was to create a group where I could mentor people and give them all of my trade secrets, all of them. You join this group, you're going to learn everything that I know. If I've done something that has allowed my numbers to increase, if I have created something that has allowed me to make more money, if I have done something that led to some amount of success, I'm going to show you guys what it is. I'm going to show the members of Social Media Mystics exactly what I did. And my promise to all of you, my promise is that I won't hold anything back because I have been a member of several different social media mentoring groups in which the main guru, the main expert, would give you a lot of great information, but they'd hold one ingredient back, and that one ingredient would make all the difference. And the reason that experts and gurus do this is because they don't want you to surpass them. They don't want you to surpass them. So even though they may talk about abundance and the grace of God and how there's more than enough clients for everybody, they don't truly believe that because they won't give you the whole formula. So when I created Social Media Mystics, I made a promise to the members and to myself that I wasn't going to be that type of expert, that I wasn't going to be the type of teacher that kept one piece of the puzzle out so that you could never have the whole picture. I wasn't going to be the person that purposely sabotaged you and kept you down so that you couldn't surpass me, or that I could later on sell you a different program so that you could finally have the whole thing, so you could finally be successful. I wasn't going to do that. And so that was kind of a scary commitment to make, because fear started popping in. And before we start talking about fear, I want to give you kind of a new way to look at fear. I recently came to the conclusion that fear is not our enemy. Fear is simply the voice of caution, okay? If you have a piece of paper somewhere, write that down. Fear is simply the voice of caution. If you can accept that fear is an overly cautious friend, fear suddenly doesn't seem as fearful. Fear suddenly becomes someone that you can listen to compassionately, with an open mind and open heart, and you can hear fear's side of the story. And the reason this is important is because fear is looking out for you. Fear doesn't want you to get hurt. That is all fear is. If you stop and you think about it, if you stop to think about all of the things that you're afraid of, you're going to notice that fear has one job and one job only: to prevent you from getting hurt, right? It's the reason that people like me are afraid of heights. We're afraid of falling. It's not really a fear of heights, it's a fear of falling, right? We look down and we're like, ugh, get me away from that edge, like it's too high. It's fear of getting hurt. So if fear starts to present itself to you, it's not trying to sabotage you. It's not even really trying to prevent you from moving forward. It's saying, hold on, before you do this, you may want to consider these experiences that you've had in the past. You may want to consider the data that has come up about this health issue, this study, this whatever it is. Fear is the voice of caution, and it serves a real purpose. And that purpose, again, is to prevent you from getting hurt. So when fear starts to talk to us, we don't have to try to shut it down immediately. We don't have to live in fear of fear. That's counterproductive. We can allow fear to express itself to us, to voice its concerns. And at that point, we can say to fear, you know what? I never thought of that. Thanks for bringing that up. And fear usually brings up very valid points, not all the time, but usually, especially when it comes to a new relationship, a business decision. Fear is just telling you to dot your I's and cross your T's and cover your ass. That's all fear is doing. And so when fear approaches us, when fear starts to speak up and says, be careful, that's not a bad thing. We can listen to fear and see what its message is. And then from there, we have to decide, does the consequence of what I fear outweigh what I say I believe in? Do the rewards of being productive and successful at this outweigh the possible consequence of fear? And it's a really good thing for us to analyze. It's a really good way for us to examine what our true beliefs are. Because I could have very quickly said to fear, you know what, fear? I have had all these experiences in the past with people who used me and stole my ideas. And you know what, you're right. I shouldn't collaborate with anybody anymore. I shouldn't form this community because they're just going to stomp all over me too. I could have said that. And the thing is that the mirror that the world has given to me through these different personalities would validate that new fearful belief. It's not like this belief or this fear just came out of nowhere. It's not like I just woke up one morning and was afraid that people were going to steal my ideas. It's that this has been a consistent thing. It's been very consistent with the people that I've trusted in my life. And so I had to ask myself, do I really believe in what I say I believe? Do I really believe in community? Do I really believe in collaboration? Do I really believe in supporting and encouraging people along their spiritual business path? Or is that all just talk? And I sat there and I examined it and I said, you know what? I'm on the edge right now because I have been hurt. And I've been hurt and I've been wounded deeply. And so I'm kind of on the edge where I believe both of these. Where I believe both fear, but I believe in collaboration. It's an odd place to be. So when I realized I was teetering, when I realized that fear, the voice of caution, the friend who's just looking out for you, had a valid concern, I had to take that into consideration. But then, on the other hand, I had to look at my beliefs and take that into consideration too. And after looking at both of them, I said, I believe in collaboration. I believe in community. I believe in people. And I believe I am going to make the best social media mentoring group that was ever created for spiritual business owners. And so when you get to a point where fear is knocking on your door, when fear is saying, hey, be careful, this could happen, the wise thing to do is to analyze why that fear is coming up. And then ask yourself what you truly believe. The thing is, once this comes to our awareness, we have a choice, right? I had a choice. I could say, I'm not creating social media mystics after all, because I'm afraid people are going to steal my ideas. I'm afraid people are just going to use me. I'm afraid they're going to come into the group, see the format, steal it, and I'm going to just be left in the dust. You know, I could have gone that way, but I didn't. I said, you know, I believe in this. So at that point, I chose my belief. I chose what I wanted to believe. And then from that point, I made sure that my thoughts, my behaviors, and my actions were all in alignment with that belief instead of with my fear. If you say that you believe in prayer and yet you never pray before making a important decision, you don't believe in prayer, right? If you say that you believe in helping other people, but when other people ask you for help, you don't respond to them, you don't do anything to help them, then guess what? You don't really believe in helping people, right? So it's really important that our behaviors, our actions, and our thoughts are in alignment with what we say we believe. And we have a choice to make every single day regarding how we're going to put ourselves out into the world. Are we going to put our best foot forward? Are we going to live in alignment with what we say we believe? Or are we going to continue to listen to our overly cautious friend all the time? And so when you come to a point in your life where fear is causing you to question your belief, examine both of them. First, examine the fear and ask it, what's the proof? What's the validation? Why are you coming to me with this in the first place? Find out if it has a good point and analyze it. Analyze it. And then look at your beliefs. This is what I say I believe. Do I really believe it? And if so, are my actions, thoughts, and behaviors in alignment with it? It's a very important thing for us to do because I see it all the time where people say that they believe something. You know, they say they believe something and they preach this message on peace and joy and having a happy life and living an abundant life, but they don't act on it. You know, they don't act on it. And in this community, or not community, in the spiritual field, it's been very interesting to see behind the scenes of people's lives, because I have gotten to know a lot of psychics, a lot of tarot readers, a lot of astrologers, and a lot of spiritual teachers. And I see the face, the persona that they put on in front of the camera. I see the persona that they exhibit on Facebook and Twitter and wherever. But I also see behind the scenes what they're really like. And a lot of times, who they are on camera, who they are on social media, is not who they are in real life. Because if it was, they would be making very, very different decisions and actions. It's pretty interesting to see. So be a person who puts your money where your mouth is. Analyze your fears, analyze your thoughts, analyze your behaviors, and do this often because it's really easy to slip up. And if we allow ourselves to slip up once without analyzing it and without asking ourselves what just happened, we continue this downward spiral. And what's worse is we can start to fool ourselves into thinking that we've got everyone else fooled. And even if that's true, what does that say about our own integrity, right? We have to live in alignment with our beliefs if we are living an authentic life, if we are living a life that matters. Otherwise, we're just frauds. We're just liars. And I think we can all agree that that's not who we want to be, right? So that is my video on how to use your beliefs to overcome your fears. I do hope that you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments whatsoever, please put them in the comment section down below. If you would like to learn more about me, or if you would like to order a personalized coaching session with me or a tarot reading with me, please visit my website at guidingechoes.com. Also, for more spiritual videos and videos that are based on your personal growth, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.